Welcome to the Raw and Real of Real Estate podcast, powered by LPT Realty, Real Estate Reimagined, with your host, the one and only Betsy Tinnervin. On this podcast, we bring you people who share their personal journeys in life, business, and of course, real estate. Get motivated, inspired, and priceless information from entrepreneurs, community leaders, and realtors who are thriving. Now let's get raw and real. Here's Betsy.
Hello and welcome to the LPT Radio All-Stars Show. I am your host, Betsy Tinnervin with the Tampa Bay Investments team, and I have two guests on this show today. We had some listeners listen in and request that they provide some more information, so we are welcoming them both back. I have Justin Roth.
How you doing?
And Justin, who are you with, my friend?
I am with the man, the myth, the legend, Brandon Wessner.
B. Wessner.
National Title Solutions, the only guy I go to.
What's going on, man?
What's up?
And Justin Roth is with Embrace Home Loans. Brandon Wessner is with National Title Solutions. And for all of our lovely LPT realtors listening today, we have some exciting news. I know that our one and only Robert Palmer was on Motivational Monday this week, made tons of great announcements of all of the high-tech marketing that is provided for free to all of our agents and all of the great coding work and time that he's been putting in to really perfect all of our systems and help us have a seamless process as agents. And then we, the three of us this week, we were on the road traveling and training, huh?
Yeah, we were.
Justin, where were we at this week?
Well, we did a nice little event at our Embrace offices over in Tampa off West Shore, and then we were out in Orlando.
We were back to back.
Back to back.
And so, Brandon, what was your thought process on the reaction of all the agents that were in the classes and just the overall kind of vibe that we got from everybody? And what were we talking about?
I thought it was great reaction from everyone. I mean, you had realtors wanting Betsy to start up an Orlando division. You know, the information, she's able to provide you agents on, short-term rentals. Everyone just seemed to love the idea and love the information she provided.
I also think what was cool for all the agents out there is all of us agents gathered together, and actually we had a pretty eclectic version of agents from all different types of brokerages. Obviously, every brokerage is different on how they train and what they do, but we had tons of vendors there, which really, it's great, speaking and training, but when you can provide hands-on resources. So Justin, you guys presented that DSCR loan, and I know that a lot of the listeners were really intrigued with that. Can you just do a recap on what the DSCR loan is?
Yeah, just a little recap on it. It's an investor product, obviously, for investment properties only. No income, so no W-2s, no tax returns, no pay stubs. We do verify assets to make sure you have down payment and reserves. And that's about it. That's what qualifies you. That along with your credit score and with what the property collects in rent. So as long as we got, a 1-to-1 ratio on it, which means basically the payment's going to cover, the lease will cover the payment, then we'll be good to go. And you can also vest that in an LLC and we can close it. So
basically when we were talking to agents, we were training in reference to, and it was agents and investors, people that really wanted to buy investment properties, and it allowed them to basically have a product that if they were self-employed or if they didn't have all the backing for a regular conventional loan, that it was an asset-based product.
Correct. It's an awesome product, and you can actually do up to 20 of them. So.
And then we did something really cool, Brandon, that we've never done before. We did a live closing in Orlando.
That was interesting. I'm sure the mobile closer loved that.
Yeah, the notary was a little freaked out. But we actually closed live on a 9-unit property, and it was great to have you there, Brandon, to go over the Alta statement for all the investors and all of the people like in the room. Talk a little bit about a couple of things that we talked about.
Yeah. So, generally in Florida, title insurance is regulated, but when you're handling a purchase, we're going to issue two types of policies. We're going to issue an owner's policy as well as a lender's policy. Even though that's regulated, when you issue two policies, you should be getting a simultaneous rate on that lender's policy. Unfortunately, the title company, we won't name any names, charged Betsy full-blown lender's policy and ended up costing them about $600, right?
Yeah.
Right around there.
And we requested for it to be reduced, and they wouldn't reduce it. So it was kind of like a big fight. But I think for all the agents and investors to see like what is important to look at in closing docs, a couple other things that we had talked about is that particular property that we were purchasing was an investment, had exchanged hands a couple times, and had a 42-page lien search. And so just talk a little bit about that, Brandon, what you guys are looking for with lien searches and permitting for anyone thinking about purchasing real estate. It's not as typical to see something like that on residential, more investment where it's exchanged hands and there's been like work done. But for anyone out there looking to buy a property residential wise or an investment or realtors that are doing the back end process, what should they know when it comes to like lien searches and permits?
Yeah, so there's a lot of important information that you're not going to get on your normal title search. So if it's on a Florida FAR bar contract, it's required that the title company handle the lien search. But if it's not, I would always suggest you get a lien search done for multiple reasons. It's going to show if there's any open permits on the property. It's going to show if there's any open code violations that does not have a lien placed against them. And it's also going to show what special assessments are on there. On the contract, there's a section for special assessments that's either going to have the seller pay it in full or the buyer take on the payment. So it's really important that you find all that information out on the property. Unfortunately for Betsy's property here, there was, I believe, an open permit that they ended up having to take exception to, and that's what you don't want to happen. You want a title company that's going to review your lien search, send it out to you, and actually let you know what's on there instead of just sending you a 42-page lien search like Betsy was given and with no explanation.
I also know that we are going to have a schedule of trainings going out, and we're also going to be donating 10%, I believe, of the proceeds to the Blatantly Honest Foundation. And I'd like to give a huge shout out to the Blatantly Honest Foundation. It's actually based out of Orlando, and Michaela Nichols runs that foundation. And since this month is Suicide Awareness Month, I know that she's actually doing an event on September 21st. It is at the Jewel Orlando, and it's 6400 Carrier Drive. The event's going to be amazing. If you're interested in knowing more about the Blatantly Honest Foundation, it is all about young kids preventing being bullied and like suicide awareness with juveniles. Michaela's an amazing human, and she puts a lot of time and effort into that. So I can get you more information. You can send me a text if you're interested in that particular event or sponsorship or anything involving Michaela's foundation. My cell is 813-609-0229, and I can connect you with her. I think the goal in all of the trainings that we're doing for all the agents and, investors or whoever we're going to cater to next is to really educate people. I know that LPT Realty really prides itself in quality over quantity. I think that it's been phenomenal to see the production of all the LPT agents, because I know that we're a newer brokerage. A couple of things I want to recap with you guys on are some up and coming things that we have. I know that we are doing some lunch and learns that are going to be open to realtors, and they are going to be free trainings every single week, I believe on Tuesdays from 12 to 1, or that could switch to Wednesdays. So I'll update everybody more on that. But I know one of them that we're going to do, Brandon, is we're going to do an open house training, and we're going to talk about the importance of title being present and kind of what you can contribute to that. So do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah. So Obviously we want to be there and support. We're able to give, updated fee sheets, right then and there for people that are, wanting to know exactly what they're going to have to bring to the table, what the seller's net sheet is. With Embrace, they also have an app, that will be there where we'll be able to get a full CD pretty much for the buyer and seller right there at the open house. So it just makes it a lot easier on everybody else. And I think it's super important to have that backup, with the title company and lender there to help support the agent at an open house.
Well, today, guys, we are going to talk about several more trainings that we're going to be putting on for local realtors that will be free lunch and learns. We're going to take a deep dive into what kind of happened with the market today. So we're going to go ahead and go to commercial break. Everybody, do not forget to download the iHeartRadio app. You can listen to us through the app as you're doing laundry, doing chores, maybe taking your lunch break at work. And we are talking all things real estate. We are talking about the market. We're talking about realtors. We're talking about anyone who's interested in becoming a realtor. So we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break, and we'll see you after the break.
Have the best comp plans ever and stock and revenue share, but if we're not closing real estate transactions, all of that is worthless, because ultimately everything starts with a real estate transaction, which starts with a consumer. And so we wanted to arm our agents with the absolute best technology and best marketing tools to do more real estate. And that's, again, I think a big differentiator. I think very few brokerages really sit down and say, how do we provide tools to make sure that our agents can be more productive, sell more real estate, win more listings, win at more listing appointments, help more buyers find that home. And we're very focused on that. And so while we have the best comp plans and the best ways for agents to generate wealth and earn, we also have the best tools, and more importantly, I would say have the best tools to help you be successful in real estate.
The LPT Realty Radio All-Star Show. I am your host, Betsy Tinervin, with the Tampa Bay Investments team. And again, back in popular demand, we had some listener requests wanting to know more about financing. We had some realtors wanting to know about upcoming trainings. So we have Justin Roth.
What's going on?
With Embrace Home Loans. And we have Brandon Wessner.
Back again.
With National Title Solutions. And just so everyone knows that LPT Realty is a full-fledged ecosystem. So anyone can use any of the vendors that they want to when you are a part of our brokerage. We do try to bring people in to speak to the community and speak to our agents on just educational things. And we're actually speaking to most of our agents today. So I hope we have a lot of LPT realtors listening in, because not only did our one and only Robert Palmer give us all of the updates and upgrades that are happening within LPT on Monday, but we are now also going to talk live in reference to some things that we're doing locally with some local vendors. So I know that we had just touched on like open house stuff, but I do want to just kind of want all of our listeners to know that we are like real people. So I believe that Justin Roth had a grocery delivery today.
Oh, geez. Yeah, it just so happens we were over at our friend's house that was probably a couple miles away from our house on a Sunday watching the football games. And we ordered food over there from Instacart, and my wife forgot to change the address, so all our groceries got delivered over to our friend's house today.
And what service were you using, like Ship or Instacart?
Instacart.
Okay,
yeah,
Instacart.
So she just forgot to change the address, and everything went over to our friend's house, so she had to run over to their house, pick it all up, and bring it back home. So basically 2 trips.
Of groceries?
Yep.
Did you help with this process?
I was on my way here.
Okay. So your wife had to do it all. How did you know it was at their house, though?
She called and told me. She goes, call Ben and let him know that I'm coming over there to pick up all of our groceries because I forgot to change the address.
Sweet. So basically, I think that it's crazy, like what we've kind of all done, like ever since COVID, like everything is really mobile, being delivered. But I think for like business owners, like it definitely makes our lives like more efficient.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you the last time I was in a grocery store.
Me neither.
Brandon, do you get grocery deliveries?
We do.
And who do you use as your service?
Amazon Prime, so Whole Foods.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there you go.
I like Ship because Ship has like everything. You know, you can actually order makeup from Sephora.
and have it
I
shipped.
did not know that.
Justin, you need to like stay on your game, dude. Like, so yeah, ship is actually, I think it's like $99 a year, and then it's all free delivery. But it's a bunch of different stores like Publix, Costco's, and what's cool about Costco's is like
need a
you don't need a membership.
Yeah, that's how Instacart is too.
Yeah, so like it has like a list of stuff. So just for anyone listening, I just thought that we would share just that we are real human beings and real life things happen. And so when Justin came in a little late today and told me that, you know, the groceries went to the wrong house, I thought everyone would find that appealing. I want to take us back to what we were talking about with open houses. So if you're a seller and you're selling your property and you're interviewing multiple agents, obviously with LPT, we do have the listing power packs, and it is exclusive to our brokerage. So you should probably go with an LPT agent, just saying. But Robert Palmer created the LPT Power Packs, and they have like a psychological sales scenario behind them to really tap into the percentage of buyers that other companies cannot. Brandon, you've seen this material. What are your thoughts?
Unbelievable. Unmatched. No other brokerage that I've seen can even come close of what LPT does.
Yeah, it's actually 168 pieces of marketing content, and on top of that, we now have been talking to agents also, Justin, about what like you guys can do at the open house, which obviously helps the seller, the agent, and then everyone involved with geofencing.
Yeah. So we do have the ability to geofence a certain address. So, you know, let's just say we're doing an open house. It's one of our agents from LPT. We can go in there. We can geofence, you know, about a mile to 2 mile radius around it. And everybody that comes in there is going to get hit with, you know, co-branded advertising from Embrace and LPT. So it's a real good, easy way to get it out to other people that are walking in, and brand recognition. That's what it's about.
I also know that, like, Brandon, you guys are doing like some one-on-one things with agents. And so any new agents that are out there that are with LPT or not with LPT, but really want like some one-on-one time, I know that you guys did a session today, and some of these open house tools also came up. What did you guys do today?
Today we just talked about, you know, going over a commitment, going over an ALTA statement, how important it is to understand an ALTA statement to make sure whether you're representing the buyer or seller that the title company is putting the fees on the correct side. You know, like we mentioned earlier, unfortunately, you know, they did not with Betsy's deal. And I think it's super important that the agents, whether they're new or old, understand what fees should go where and on which side.
And that was you, and who else was involved in that training today?
Embrace Home Loans.
Perfect. Who was their representative that was there today?
David Finney represented Embrace today and talked about what Justin just talked about, the geofencing and the co-branding and how much Embrace has to offer new agents.
Yeah, and what's the branding, Justin? I want to hear about it.
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback on that. So any of the agents that we start to work with, we like to co-brand with them. So we actually give them, it's called Total Expert. We give them like $1,000 subscription for nothing. So they can go in there, create all their own, you know, open house flyers, different scenarios on it with 30-year fixed, 15-year ARM products, whatever it may be. And they can print it out right at the touch of a button themselves. So, but we obviously like to be there with them so we can do kind of a more spearheaded attack on it. And that way, if anybody has any questions while they're there, we're there to answer.
And I think right now in the market, like, it's very blatantly clear that obviously sellers can sell and make a really nice profit off of their sale. However, now we have to provide financing for the buyer.
Yep.
And so it's not a secret. Like, what happened today, Justin?
Well, obviously, you know, the CPI numbers, consumer price index came out, wasn't as low as they expected. So now they, you know, all eyes are on the Fed next week. You know, what are they going to do? Is there going to be a 3/4 of a point rate hike? Is it going to be 100 basis points? What will it be? But, you know, nobody can tell right now. Hopefully, you know, I think pretty much the market right now is baked in a 3/4, 75 basis point, you know, rate increase. So I think that's probably what we're looking at.
So if I'm a normal human, not in the lending world,
So if you're a
that
normal-
was a bunch of word vomit.
Yes. If you're a normal human, so whenever you see, the Fed raise the rates, okay, what they're doing is they're raising the overnight rate. That's what banks lend to banks at. All right. So it doesn't have a direct effect on mortgage rates, because mortgage rates are tied to what's called mortgage-backed securities, and those are traded on a daily basis. So it kind of has an indirect effect on it, but usually what happens when the Fed raises rates, that's to fight inflation. All right, and inflation, mortgage rates don't like inflation, so you would think they'll start to come down a little bit, and that's what they're hoping.
So basically back to like selling your home, doing an open house, what's going on with rates right now. That's why I think it's critical if you're a seller listening to this or an agent that is now obtaining listings in a seller's market. It's really critical to whatever lender that you're working with, whether it's Embrace or you have another lender that is your preferred vendor, that you have them create that financial package for that particular property. Because when you go to sell a property, you need to reset those taxes according to the new purchase price. You need to take a look at what insurance cost is going to be, and you need to contact your title company, whether it's Brandon Wessner at National Title or your other preferred vendor, and then obviously someone like Justin with Embrace to create that package for you. And so I think with that total expert marketing that you offer, Justin, and I know the products that National Title can put out for any property that's on the market, like sales wise, is critical. And also I believe that the total expert product costs someone like $1,000 on their own.
Definitely, and we give it to them for nothing.
So yeah, it's free 99.
Free 99.
And then I believe, Brandon, all of your swag and folders and all of that you provide is free 99.
Free 99.
That's right.
I love free 99. So I want to make sure that sellers know how to get a hold of you, Brandon.
Yeah, so they can contact me on my cell phone, 727-504-8424.
And how does someone get a hold of you, Justin?
They can call me at 800-333-3004, extension 3113, or just go to www.justindonaldroth.com.
I thought one of you guys was going to say, just call on Tyrone. But they didn't. So I guess you have to call them at the numbers provided. We're going to go ahead and take a commercial break, guys. Thanks for listening. Don't miss the next two segments. We have some great information for agents and sellers and buyers. And again, this is the LPT Realty All-Star Radio Show, where we talk the raw and the real of real estate. Download the iHeartRadio app, and we will be back after the break.
The biggest win, I think, with the dual path and having these two models is that now we become a brokerage for everyone. No matter where you are in your real estate career or what your goals are today, maybe today you're not interested in recruiting or having a team, but then one day you wake up and you are. Well, if you're at the wrong brokerage to do that, you're locked in. Where in our model, we're not holding anyone hostage. We're not tying anyone in. You can move between the different comp plans and have that success and really achieve whatever your definition of success is under one brokerage platform, being LPT.
Welcome back to the LPT All-Star Radio Show. I am your host, Betsy Tinnervin with the Tampa Bay Investments team, and I have some phenomenal people here. If you missed segments 1 and 2, we have Justin Roth and Brandon Wessner with Embrace Home Loans, National Title Solutions. They are backed by popular demand. We had several listeners contact Justin on his DSCR product, and we've had several sellers touch base with Brandon on some options that they offer when it comes to selling your home or selling an investment property. We actually went to commercial break, and both of the boys said to me, Betsy, you are so right. And I looked at them and said, guys, I'm always right. And
Shocker.
that's
Shocker.
That's the truth,
That's
right,
rule
Brandon?
number one.
That is
That's rule number one.
100%
And
the
if she
truth.
is wrong, see rule number one again.
Yes, that she's right.
Yeah, I mean, like in reality, like Brandon, you've worked with me for like 8 years. So
I don't know that you've ever been wrong.
It's a fact.
It's a fact.
Like I know that Justin, you and I have worked together for a while as well, and we're both from Chicago. So I mean, how many times have I really been
You're
wrong?
from so ill.
I am from south of Chicago.
But
how
midway down the state.
Yeah, but in Florida, when someone says, "Where are you from?" and I say Illinois, they don't know anywhere else.
You're like
but
150 miles from Chicago.
I know, but how many times am I wrong though?
You're not.
Even the other day when we had a debate and you said no, and then I came back and said yes.
And who was the first one to say you were right?
You are right.
Exactly.
And Brandon, you said in 8 years, never been wrong?
Never.
Exactly. So I'm just saying that anyone who knows me, I'm pretty much right 99% of the time. At least I want to believe that. So these guys are fabulous and amazing, and we literally talk the raw and the real of real estate. This is not a show that we're holding back information or we're presenting just the good. So we did touch on the market a little bit, and then Justin, you brought up a really good point. Can you kind of backtrack what you brought up when we were talking about that?
Well, one of the first things we were talking about is I like that you brought up the fact about the property taxes.
For sure.
So, whenever somebody's buying a house, a lot of lenders out there, they won't tell them that, hey, your taxes are going to go up once they reassess them. So we're so used to qualifying people off what's currently on the tax rolls, as opposed to what the real amount's going to be. Because as we know in Florida, we have Florida Saves Homes, and your taxes are capped at going up at 3% a year. So
we love Florida.
It's the land of the free.
Florida is the land of the free, man. So wait, rewind so everyone understands that. In the state of Florida.
Yeah. So like if you buy a house, when you file your homestead,
right,
okay, you are capped at your taxes only going up 3% per year.
Perfect.
That's it.
So everyone
if it is
also
your
needs
primary residence.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
So if you're buying a primary residence, right now everyone's kind of freaking out about rates and stuff. At least they know that they have some sense of security with their property taxes only being able to be increased 3% because we are in the sunshine state, kids.
I also do Chicago loans too, and they don't have that rule.
I am aware.
30% they'll go up in a year.
Exactly. So if you are looking to purchase real estate in Florida, and again, you need to be able to have it as a primary and homestead, also remember everyone out there, we do get a lot of snowbirds that look here. And what people also do, since we don't have income tax, they end up making their Florida their primary residency. And then wherever they're originally from then becomes their second home.
Yeah, because the homestead exemption here means a lot more than let's just say Illinois.
For sure.
You get $50,000 off of the assessed value. So,
and I'm not a CPA, but I do know that when I first relocated to Florida, when I became a resident, even though I had sources of income in Illinois, they could not charge me income tax for the income in Illinois because I was a Florida resident.
Really?
It was pretty clutch.
Well, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of benefits.
Saved you 6%.
Just saying.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of benefits right now in buying real estate, and I do want to focus on the positive. I am full transparent. Anyone also knows me. I'm definitely right, Brandon, all the time.
Yes.
But I don't have a filter either.
No filter at all.
So I would not overpay for a property. I wouldn't go out personally and be making offers $50,000-$60,000 over and putting yourself in a deficit. But what I would do is I would look at the numbers, and the numbers don't lie. And we appreciate in the state of Florida beyond the national average when we're not in a seller's market. And I think I bring this up a lot. And when I train, you guys listen to me talk all the time, so I'm sure you're sick of hearing me. But we are an apex market in Florida where rents are rising and the sale price of property is also rising. So we're continuing to appreciate faster than the national average. And so the truth is, I think the big aha moment for a lot of the investors and realtors selling investment properties is that over the last 10 years, we have not produced enough housing opportunities as is. And so Florida's supply and demand speaks for itself.
Yeah, no, definitely. You hit it on the head.
And I think that purchase-wise, like you were talking about, Justin, the realtor is the catalyst and the connector of the transaction. So resetting those taxes, obviously figuring out cost of insurance and then kind of putting that package together
Yep.
now more is more important than ever. And Brandon, I'm sure you see this as you get to the closing table where people are looking at payments and PMI and all these different things. And they're like, that's not what we discussed. Even on the residential side, you need to know those numbers.
And if there's one thing I could say that like National Title does well is when you're sitting at the closing table with them, they're going to remind you of your homestead when it needs to be filed. They're going to make sure you have all the correct stuff to file it. And they also put stuff on a real nice little neat thumb drive to where you don't have all the paper.
For sure. I think that, Brandon, as far as title goes, I think that a couple things that you should mention that people also investment-wise really appreciated at the training is just a couple of the things that you are really keen on for investors.
Yeah, I mean,
well, for residential purchases too, but just in general.
Yeah. So, you want to make sure your title company understands investments and understands the lingo. You don't want to put the title company in with your investor and they not understand what a double closing, simultaneous closing is. You want to make sure that they understand what to do. We're going to take care of the investor on the buy side and the sell side. We're going to reduce all of our closing costs. We're going to make it as cheap as possible, but close on time because we all know time is money, right? We want the investor wants to come in, buy the property. Why? They want to move on to the next investment that they have. So we're going to do whatever we can to make it as cheap as possible for them and as quick as possible as well.
I also think that it's important to talk just about like the other things that we're going to be putting out for these lunch and learns. We talked about the open house stuff. We talked about the geofencing. We talked about the co-marketing. I also think that the eSnap app is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's an amazing app. That's something I like to give to every single borrower. I like to give it to all my agents because the agents can share it with their borrowers as well. And just kind of keeps everybody in the loop. It puts the agent on there, it puts the borrower on there, and it also puts me on there and my processor on there. So everybody is in one centrally located app, and you can chat with everybody all at once. And that way everybody knows what's going on with the transaction.
I think it's really convenient for all the people looking to buy as well because they literally put their information in and get information back pretty quickly.
Yep.
It causes a lot less confusion. So for all agents out there, we are going to be doing lunch and learns. I will get you the specific dates and times. If you are interested in those, please feel free to contact me at 813-609-0229. We're always looking to talk about topics that are relevant to our listeners and other people out in the real estate community in Tampa Bay, which, man, we are like the hottest real estate market in the country.
We are.
Tampa Bay. Look, you got the
Tampa
Bucks just
Bay.
won, too.
How do you feel about that, Justin?
I mean, it's my second favorite team, but I mean, come on.
It's your second favorite team.
my second
big
favorite.
win for the Bears.
Let's
this
talk about the
weekend.
Bears
Oh,
this
boy.
weekend. All right.
Hey, you don't have to tell me. I'm not football. You guys know that. But I mean, hello, the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, well, I will be at the Bears-Packers game in Lambeau.
Okay.
So it is the next one coming up. and
Justin,
I'll be
who are
there.
you going there with?
I'm going there with Anthony Latham, owner of National Title.
Woo woo.
What,
That's
what?
so fun. Brandon, you weren't invited?
No, I get the business and, they get to have all the fun.
This is an 8-year tradition.
Okay. I'm just sad that there was no invite for me, but I have to be one of the guys for everyone out there most of the time. I want everyone to know that I hope that this is insightful and good information. We have another segment left. Please do not miss it. Justin, if they need financial information, looking to get pre-approved, realtors looking just to go over how they can better and build their business, how do they contact you?
They can call me at 1-800-333-3004, extension 3113, or justindroth.com.
And Brandon Wessner, sellers, agents looking to list properties, wanting to have the dopest open house in America, who do they contact?
That's right. Call Brandon at 727-504-8424.
I led both of them last time to do the call on Tyrone, and neither one of them did it. So we're going to take a commercial break. And we'll be back. Download the iHeartRadio app. Don't miss segment 4. Hope you're having a great weekend, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the LPT Realty Radio All-Stars Show, and I am your host, Betsy Tinnervin. If you missed the first couple segments, please rewind, download the iHeartRadio app. There was truly great content and information. However, I have been messing with the guys on the show today, Justin Roth and Brandon Wessner, about giving out their phone numbers and making it funny. And I thought that it should be kind of call on Tyrone. And every time I queued them up to say something good when they're giving out their number. And Brandon at the break says what?
Brandon just doesn't go, so call on Brandon. I couldn't think of a good way to actually do it.
So what did we decide on?
We didn't decide on it. You just wanted me to say, oh yeah, call on B West.
Yes, I like that. That's good. And then Justin, what did we decide for you?
Just call on Justin.
Exactly. It's like, Vincent Acuri has the best slogan, 813 Vincent. So you guys got to have your own jam.
I know, right?
If you're going to be repeat guests and you now have fans that are listening, they need to hear who you are and what you're about.
Yeah, Vince did give me a good idea because Brandon is the same as Vincent, but I had to call the number for 727 Brandon to offer money, and they did not want it. They wanted to keep their number. So shout out to Vince for that, for giving me the idea, but I couldn't get 727 Brandon. I couldn't.
I know. I think that it's pretty cool that you have an app, Justin.
Yeah. And that app is amazing too, though. Not only can you apply on it and the realtor sees it and the processor sees it, but you can also upload all your docs through it too. Yeah,
I think when you're in the middle of the loan process, it's already stressful enough. And when you're having to snap PDFs and do all this stuff, that's really cool that you can upload documents direct onto the app and then just kind of follow through it with it.
Yeah, we try to take all the rigmarole out of it. We want to have a direct line to us to where everybody knows what's going on, and that's it. Nobody's left in the dust.
Awesome. So we kind of touched on the lunch and learns that are going to happen this week. We want all realtors to be able to come and attend those. They are free. We're going to feed you lunch. We're going to go through trainings. And I think that we've really talked about in the 30 days to success class that we really want our agents to build a business. And I know that being with LPT, we're given all of these tools and great things from corporate. And I know that they have also tweaked their onboarding process and they're offering some classes. So if you're an agent looking to get into real estate, you definitely need to connect with a local LPT agent, and they can get you connected in the process if you are new and you need mentorship and training. If you're also seasoned, I think we've had a lot of great feedback from agents on really wanting to build their business, really plug in with their CRMs, and then no matter what vendor they're using, create that ecosystem to kind of build out that business. Do either one of you want to touch on that?
No, I think a CRM is really important to have. That's what we use Total Expert for. And, it just puts everything at the touch of your fingertips. You get flyers, you get everything. And the realtors that work with us as well can have the same thing.
I think that gives them the option if they don't want to set up a separate CRM, that they have a free one that they can at least plug their database into. And then I also think, Brandon, the stuff that you're doing one-on-one with people kind of breaks it down. Definitely. Everybody goes to classes and they go to seminars and even big time speakers. And then you feel like you left and someone was your cheerleader, but then what do you have to apply? So I think that my goal as a trainer and an educator is I want people to leave with hands-on tools. I want it to be a good experience. Absolutely. I want to celebrate success with people, but what can we do to become better? And I think the mindset right now with everything that we're fighting, just in the society as a whole, we're fighting inflation. We have lack of housing. People as business owners are scared. We don't have W-2 income. We are fighting every single day to wake up with a mindset that's continue, push through through and use the resources around us. And I think that what makes you guys great is even this week, like traveling with both of you and going from Tampa to Orlando and touching almost 100 people in 2 days. Like, it was a long process. I mean, I think, Brandon, you arrived in Orlando at midnight the night before. I know, Justin, that you and Mike had family and he used it for family time. So I definitely appreciate both of you guys, because you're definitely two of my cheerleaders.
For sure.
And I do want to give a little birthday shout out.
I was just going to do that.
Mike Cockman, happy birthday, bro.
Getting old.
Mike Cockman, we want to sing happy birthday to you. Are you ready, boys?
Let's
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to
Mike
M. Cockman. Happy birthday to you.
There's a
We
lot of
love
funny
you, Mike.
stories about Mike we can go into.
Yeah, I would like to share just 2 of those, Justin, real quick.
Oh boy.
So, Mike, this is so me if you get mad. We just want to give our listeners a good laugh, and it's your birthday. So it's go shorty, it's your birthday. We're going to make fun of you.
Are we talking about the maiden names?
Yes, we are.
Okay. All right. So I've known Mike for at least 10 years now, and he told me that his mom got married, when his mom got married to his dad was Cockman, and his mom's maiden name was Long. So it was the Long Cockman wedding, and not to be outdone, his sister and her husband, it wound up being the Gagnon Cockman wedding. So
you know what's funny? I ask Mike all the time, Mike, I'm sure he hates me because I never remember you guys' emails. And then if they don't save in Gmail, I'm like, Mike, can you spell that again? M. Cockman at Embrace. And it's poor Mike, dude. We love you, Mike. Mike is the most genuine dude. I feel also when he is in class with us and he's training people, he's really, really thorough, really precise.
Yeah, he's great.
And we just want to wish you a happy birthday, Mike. We love you. We hope that you enjoy our jokes and are not offended, because it's all out of love.
Yes.
I know that we had a great show today and we touched a little bit on the market. I kind of want to end with that because I know that that's the big topic, out in the streets, is just what's going to happen, why you should buy, why you shouldn't buy. So, Justin, do you want to just give them a little insight on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's real estate's always been a good investment, and I always think it will be. So, it's rents are rising right now too. So I'd rather see somebody put money into a house and build equity rather than build equity for someone else.
For sure. I mean, I think that I am definitely a raw and a realist. And so just like I said, would I spend, $50,000 over ask just to win an offer? It has to make financial sense. And I think the biggest thing is make sure that you're connected with the right realtor and you have the right vendors in place to analyze as a whole. So whether it is a personal purchase or it is an investment, we all know that yes, rates have risen. But I actually saw on Facebook the other day that someone posted rates from 10 years ago or 15 years ago, and they were double what they are now.
Yeah. I mean, if you look back, in the 80s, we were at 13 to 18%.
And no one was complaining.
No one was. People
we
were
also
still buying.
pay interest on our credit cards at 19 to 24%.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can actually use real estate, which in my opinion is the sexiest asset available. And real estate can be used to leverage debt. And when you understand leveraging debt, taxes, and depreciation and appreciation, you're actually buying something that becomes an asset, not a liability.
Rich dad, poor dad.
All day long. Where'd you learn that, Justin?
Well, I'm a big fan of it too, but I do applaud you for doing that in your presentation.
Robert Kiyosaki is really my husband in
That is not a bad
life.
thing.
It definitely is cool to understand the concept and to learn about it. And I think that now more so than anyone, you see a lot of cool things happening. Like right now you see in St. Petersburg, all these developments going up and people are downsizing. I mean, the whole micro unit concept is super awesome. Bigger is not always better. And there is a quality over quantity situation. And so I think right now we just all need to be mindful and live in a space that we can afford to live in, but that doesn't mean it's not a good time to buy real estate.
Definitely agree with you.
And I think that when you have the right vendors and people in place that can analyze property for you, it works out well. Justin, how can people get a hold of you, friend?
They can give me a call at 1-800-333-3004, extension 3113, or just go to, and you can also apply here at www.justindroth.com.
And I still think it should be Call on J-Roth.
You just ruined it. I was going to do it.
Oh, you were?
I was going to surprise you and do it, but you just ruined it now.
Oh, Brandon, how do people get a hold of you?
You got to call B West
Yes.
727-504-8424.
Thank you guys so much for being a part of our show today. Anyone
Thank you for having us.
listening that wants to buy or sell real estate, also any agents out there looking to get involved with a good platform and membership, definitely reach out to any one of us on the show. We have some exciting guests coming up. And so always tune in, download the iHeartRadio show app, and you can listen to us live. We appreciate everyone that listens and supports LPT Realty. And we, of course, want to thank the one and only Robert Palmer for making this possible for everyone in the Tampa Bay community. Until next time, friends, we are signing off.
Thanks for listening to the Raw and Real of Real Estate podcast, powered by LPT Realty, Real Estate Reimagined. We hope this episode motivated and inspired you. And don't forget to rate and review us. Thanks again for listening to the Raw and Real of Real Estate podcast with Betsy Tinervin.